What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part lucky number 13 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Settra Great King the Imperishable NEHEKHARA the Great King of NEHEKHARA, King of Kings, Opener of the Way, Wielder of the Divine Flame, Punisher of Nomads, the Great Unifier, Commander of the Golden Legion, Sacred of Appearance, Bringer of Light, and many, many more campaign. Ooh. I wonder for how long I can do that in one breath. Anyway, as we saw last time, once again, a bunch of battles as we continue recruiting for our new armies, but the highlight, I think, was King Wakov facing off against the Wood Elves at the Grove of Thorns. The Dune Sali Wood Elves have been destroyed. Would have been nice to vassalize them, but it's not like we were going to trade them territory for the vassalization, as we'd like all of this for ourselves. So, well, goodbye to them. Anyway, and believe it's a brand new turn, effectively, at the very least with regards to moving. The building has been done, so let's get a move on. Now, Settra, we're going to look to try to vassalize Mr. Kotep this particular episode, so you're going to actually move just past the Bloody Tusks encampment, let's say right here on the road, and I was originally going to send Alcazar all the way out to... Wait, what? Kotep's moved? Oh, where is he going now? Damn it, Kotep. He's moved all of his armies, too. He had a bunch there. Wait. Psalmtic, I'm gonna need you to act as a scout again. Well, it's a little bit annoying, but what can you do? I was hoping to not get bogged down at the Bloody Tusks encampment, but alright, we can use Mr. King Alcazar right here. Trespassing these guys' territory doesn't really matter. Destroy these guys and maybe even this army at the same time with Hakor. Maybe that'll be the better way to do it anyway. In fact, Hakor, what's the likelihood that you could ambush us? I mean, it exists. Yeah, you know what? Keep in healing mode, I guess, and move up here. Oh, wow, you reached rank 30. Not bad at all. Settra's rank, what, 36? Yeah. Hakor, I mean, he's been fighting a lot. He is one of our early armies, so it does make sense. Now, what were we actually going through for you? My friend, what do we have here? We could get Usek's Incantation of Desiccation. We could get another point in for a 5th gen priest, but frankly, at this point, it isn't actually as needed as it once was, simply because we have other stuff. We could buff up these two. We have Elite Cavalrymen and Sun-Scorched Bones, meaning we have no points buffing up the Soul Harvester or either of the two... or either of the two Lushabti. We could also buff up the Casket and the Screaming Skulls, but I'm still on the fence as to whether we keep them in this army. Huh, go figure. Alright, well for now, let's get the 1 point in Usek's. Oh, you know what we could actually do? We could start moving through Assyrian's Bargain. The cooldown minus 2% for all spells for all characters faction-wide. May as well have a faction-wide buff, right? As for you, a Loving Creator... And I believe we're good here. Alright, who's up next in terms of moving? Pana, to you, we're going to head to Wadi El Tebuk, like so. And there shouldn't be of any issue there. Hey, look, Henri Le Massif is back, but I imagine he's not going... Well... Alright, okay, wait, I looked at the wrong place. I imagine he's not going to be able to do too much. Anytime soon, at any rate. Ally mission successful, and another Lichbone Pennant. You know, speaking of the Lichbone Pennant, I think... we'll try this with Settra without the magical attacks and buff up the chariots. Not now, because he needs the extra movement range he currently has, but probably soon. I can't believe Kotep's moved just when we got close to him. You little... what can you do? Now, Mr. Wakov, I mean... the two of you need to press both Tzeentch and the Bretonnians, I guess, so you can keep heading out this way. Though I do imagine that we'll need to send you soon to take out Zandri, because they still have a pyramid that we need to build. But it is what it is. You two, Setep and Rakash, you're going to be setting up new armies. I mean, technically Setep is almost done. You just got to complete the recruitment here. Frankly, I might have to remove one of the Screaming Skull catapults, but it is what it is. In order to give Thotep the... oh, I maybe should have gotten the Sphinx Legion up and running while you were here. I'm still kind of tempted to just give them to Settra, but anyway. Oh, wait for this. I want the Celestial Lions in this army for the additional anti-leadership. See how well that works out. Oh, right. This. I forgot that they hadn't decided to sally out last episode, the rats, I mean. And I guess we're gonna have to fight them. You want to buff up the Scorpions, maybe? Are you on a chariot? You are not on a chariot. You, I guess, are going to stay with these guys. Yeah, fair enough. What's the buff for the scorpions? It's a little bit of extra weapon strength, which isn't anything too crazy. Let's max out mobility since we're still moving here, and then we'll do that afterwards. All right, fighting time it is then. So the icon of the Sacred Eye, somebody asked in the comments whether these can be given to the Screaming Skull Catapults. Nope, can't be given to Screaming Skull Catapults, can't be given to Skeleton Horsemen. I don't understand the purpose of this if it can basically only be given to Shabti with Great Bow. And I assume they can be given to Skeleton Archers as well, but like, why is like half of the units out? At least we can give it to Bone Giants. That'll still be reasonably nice. The extra range isn't too much, but the bonus reload should still be of decent use here. I'm just wondering whether it actually might be better to just give the Withering and armor to all the Tomb Guard in this army. We might get more mileage out of it than simply slightly increasing the already high damage of the Bone Giants. Whereas these guys could really use the armor. Tomb Guard are pretty low armor, generally speaking. Well, either way, they're going to have to go up those walls. Good luck to them. Let's get to it. Alrighty, here we go. We did this sort of Skaven, battle against the Skaven with the Scorpion units last episode. Ooh, look at that. Volley from all of the Screaming Skull Catapults at once takes down the tower. And we'll now be going after the units of Death Globes up here. I like this color scheme on them. They look pretty great. The white, red, purple, and I don't know, sort of dark color that I can't quite make out here. This color scheme is really working for me. I think these guys would look great as minis, and the Death Globes in particular in this color scheme. Anyway, what was I talking about? The color scheme distracted me as it usually does. Anyway, alright, we had a fight last episode against the Skaven with the Scorpion army. Haven't had a siege battle with these guys yet, though, so let's see how we do. Now, we are going to move the Tomb Guard forward in our little siege towers, but not so much because we want them to go up on the walls, or rather because we want them to be protected from enemy artillery and range fire. The Death Globes, Poison Winds, and of course the Plague Claw catapults. I've done this before, wherein we essentially use the siege towers just to protect the units. If we were to immediately go up on the walls and then disgorge their cargo, then we'd start taking a lot of hits from enemy artillery. But like this, we're a lot safer. Alright, and hopefully we can still reach the enemy wall with the ram without, or the gate with the ram without taking too much artillery fire. Now, we will win an artillery shootout as soon as our Bone Giants are ready to go and fire back at the enemy. Just gotta knock out the walls, and then we'll be ready to move on in. I wanted to see how much damage the Poison Wind Globadiers would be able to do to the siege tower, but by the looks of it, not that much. Anyway, just about ready to go through gate and wall alike. Our Scorpions, as well as the Tomb King with the War Sphinx, are ready to move on in. Down goes the gate and down goes the wall at exactly the same time, and we're ready to move. And it also means our Bone Giants are going to start approaching, as they'll be able to soon move through this breach. Alright, the War Sphinx arrives first. Too bad you can't have some kind of, I don't know, more Scorpion-centric, I suppose, Sphinx. I mean, it does have a little Scorpion tail or other Scorpion elements on the War Sphinx as well. But all good. Alright, now there are a bunch of units that are clustered around the breaches in the wall and gate, but, well, the enemy just can't really do anything against these Scorpions with piles of infantry. They really need a few other things, though the Death Globes are certainly going to be dangerous, as well as the Poison Wind Globadiers. If they set up on the wall like that, they're going to get hit with a lot of Screaming Skulls, though. There we go, and like that, that unit is pretty much done for. Enemy Lord has arrived to try to help out the units holding the breach, but it's not going to be enough. And our Bone Giants are slowly but surely making their way forward. 32 move speed, so their speed ain't all that great, but again, all of our Tomb Guard remains safe within the towers or behind the walls. Our Tomb Barks have arrived as well to debuff the enemy and get a little bit of that extra ward save up on our Scorpions. We're gonna do their snip snip and their little death roll animations and all that. And probably not it's probably not a death roll. I mean, it's a roll and it causes a lot of death, but not like a crocodilian death roll is what I'm getting at. But it's entertaining nonetheless. Anyway, we've got a unit of skeleton warriors as a summoned unit. If you're wondering why we have a unit of infantry in here, we don't care if these guys get ripped apart by the enemy artillery. And besides, they'll run out of time and fall apart anyway. Our bone giants are starting to make their way forward while the enemy lord is down below half HP. I'm in a slightly annoying position here as he is forcing our War Sphinx lord away from where the main fight is, but that's all good. It is a scorpion army after all, and perhaps it's right for the scorpions to do most of the work here. And let's see, just out of curiosity, we've got 30 bonus versus infantry on them. Pretty solid. That'll be bumped up to 45 later on when we give them the Herald of the Scorpion. The Tombbarks might actually be the sort of weak link in the chain here, as they're going to be a lot more fragile than the Scorpions are. Anyway, the artillery bombardment, or the shootout, begins as the first arrow from the Bone Giants hits the hits the artillery, but the second arrow, it looks like it hit this little mountainside thing. And there we go, another hit and another artillery piece down, and it's just a matter of time now. Oh, come on, man. Into that thing again. I should have probably repositioned these guys a little bit more, but all good. You gotta love the insane glow on those arrows, though, and it'll sail over it this time, and hopefully, yeah, it looks like it'll hit another artillery piece. Beautiful. Enemy does have the ability to fire back at those guys, though, as Warp Lightning cannons are moving on in, so we gotta knock out as many of those Plague Claws arrows as we can before switching. That said, it will mean we can get our Tomb Guard in here rather soon and out of those towers that they've been sitting in. Not that the sort of scorpion blunder that we've been forcing the enemy to send all of their infantry in can't take care of them. And we could just win this without even bothering with the Tomb Guard. It is only a single stack after all, and all these little choke points within the middle of the enemy settlement work in our favor, and not the enemy's. In this particular case especially. It does look like the enemy has moved a Doom Wheel in, but it's down to 10% of its HP, and it looks like it's just about done for. And it's going to trundle on out of there and escape, as the enemy will cover its escape with Ogre Bulls and Plague Monks, but I don't think that thing is coming back. And I do believe there is a Hellpit Abomination barreling towards us as well. Maybe a little bit of a fight for our Lord or one of the Scorpions. But again, it's going to be horrifically surrounded, and we've got the anti-large of the Halberdier Tomb Guard in here now as they start making their way inside the enemy settlement. And the enemy artillery are in very bad shape now. 1 catapult left in this bunch, 2 catapults left in this bunch, and then we'll have to switch to the Warp Lightning cannons before they can do too much work. Yeah, I gotta love this particular settlement for the ability to set up our Bone Giants up on this hill and fire down at the enemy below. It really works quite well here. Alright, and I don't know if that hit, but I suppose it doesn't matter. How's that, well, I was gonna say how's that Hellpit Abomination doing, but it's actually pretty okay so far. A little bit more work needed. I guess the mass of the ogres is also not, wait, ogres? Yeah, ogres are large units. I mean, yeah, obviously they're large units. They're monstrous infantry. So the Scorpions might take a little bit of time to work their way through them, but that's alright. Hellpit Abomination, however, if we switch to targeting it, has lost 50% of its HP. Man, it's actually a fair bit smaller. Well, perhaps it's more bulky, but otherwise, the Sphinx... actually, it doesn't fight. I'm trying to get them to fight each other rather than peel away and fight the Scorpion. I think the Sphinx has slightly taller sort of head and neck. And then there's the Howdah helping out as well. I suppose it also doesn't matter. Anyway, the Hellpit Abomination's down to 25% of its HP. The Ogres are very much still in the fight, but who knows for how long. This one, at least, is down to about 10% of its HP. Looks like the last of the Plague Claws has been destroyed back there, or by the looks of it, at least. And the Helped Abomination will fall as well. Beautiful. It will, of course, disgorge a pile of Skaven slaves, but they'll be crushed under the Scorpions and the Tomb Guard. The enemy Warp Lightning Cannons fired upon us, but similarly lost all of their units to the Bone Giants. Fantastic. And yeah, soon the Bone Giants will have that reload ability, because here clearly they're starting to run out of ammunition. Yeah, gotta love these guys. Anyway, battle is very much nearly ours. The enemy have lost their artillery, they have lost their monsters, their lord, and pretty much everything. Our Tomb Guard have made it into the enemy settlement completely safe, and it's just a matter of time until the last of the enemy units breaks. Now, the ogres are booking it on out of there, and it looks like the battle is ours. As soon as we make contact with the gutter runners, they run, and there it is. Beautiful. Now, that worked out pretty darn well. Huh, I like how all these scorpions sort of, I didn't do this on purpose, they kind of did this on their own. Kind of spread out in a little circle here, doing some kind of ritual then. Alright, there we go. Elite garrison, or not a tier 5 garrison at that. No problem at all. Neither the Doom Wheel nor the Hellpit Abomination were able to sort of break through our line of units, so the Hellpit did damage the Lord a fair bit, I think. Okay, before I forget, you know what? Let's just see here quickly. 22k Senior Snips was the best of the Scorpions, and at 16k Bones of Lovelock slightly beat out the Greater Bonebow. But anyway, what I would like to see here is this. So you have been taking damage. Let's give you regeneration. Specifically, we're going to go into enchanted items, and we're going to give you the Ouroboros regeneration, but more importantly, it's the battle healing cap that we really want on you. Otherwise, if it wasn't for that battle healing cap, I'd get regen out of the armor rather than the... Wait, you already have poison? What's giving you poison currently? Huh? Oh, it's treacherous that gives you poison attack. Well, this would give it to you anyway, so it makes no difference. But anyway, yeah, let's get you that regen. Again, if it wasn't for the plus 45% healing cap, I would have given instead to him the Armor of Eternity or whatever it is, like Settra currently has, this thing. But obviously you can't double up on regeneration. It's too bad that this isn't recovery or something else. Or, well, then I guess then that would be weaker for Settra. Could just make the Scorpion armor for him as well. So, you know what, let's just do it. I mean, I know it's expensive, but I've been talking about it for a while, and the Scorpion King should have a Scorpion armor. And it's not like he's going to need the regen armor after all. There you go, bud. We also have to give Doomsinger to somebody, but we have easy access to regeneration, so most likely this will go on... Actually, don't know. You have regen now. I'll figure it out. Eventually, or I will continue to think about it. Otherwise, King Thotep, you're going to be continuing to recruit. There's nothing to do there, and I guess we can move Prince Scout, but we're nearly there. Alright, you go down here, go find those Cathans for us. Really, you only need to find the Cathans. Might be faster just to land here, unless you have vision of them. Okay, Jade Court. Wait, what is this? That's not a... Okay, no, it's not a book. It's not a book. Can't be all the way out here. I swear. Anyway. I swear to Petra. Where is... Diplomacy? Alright. Where is Grand Cathay? Alright, here it is. Jade Court. You guys gotta be friends. Alright, where... Huh. They're really close to becoming our vassals already. All the way out here? If we declare war on Harganeth and Shadow Legion... Hey, perfection. Will they die out here? I think maybe we might want to ply them with a bunch of cash. I guess the only main issue there is that while that is good, what isn't is that they will thus break their alliance with the Manlings and the Nagaroth elves, and then these guys will be pissed off at us for doing so. But at the same time, would we really turn down a vassal? Would Settra turn down a vassal? He thinks everybody should be his vassal, so I'm gonna say no. These guys are in trouble as well. Alright, we'll join your wars. Not like any of these guys can come down to us anyway. Vassal. And we're not going to take your money. In fact, let's just give him a little bit of cash. See if that'll help him survive a bit. Like so. We can always peace out with some of these other factions, and maybe they will be too scared to redeclare war on us again. Okay, you know what? First of all, let's start with this. I really don't like the fact that the agreements get broken and everybody hates everybody because of it, but what can you do? You still have your Tower of Lenog. What do we have in terms of recruitment here? Sky Lanterns, Crane Gunners. Man, I wanted the constructs. Yeah, we have Jade Line and Jet Line and Celestial Lines out of this one, at least out of the minor territory, but works for me. And yeah, now, minus 67 from the agreement breaking. It's silly. That really needs a rework. And now they don't like us either? Well, not horrible. That's just kind of not trending upward. Oh well. These guys are not immediately willing to peace out. What about you? No, not yet. But I'm willing to bet that they will eventually. Though I also willing to bet that they'll retake Arkness, but hopefully you can deal. They shouldn't, at least in theory, lose Tower of Lenog. And oh, speaking of, let us do. Oh, I gave them all the money, so now I can't. Should have spared 2,000 gold, but whatever. Okay, who else needs to move, or are we good to end the turn? Prince Scout, you are no longer needed here, so now you're gonna go find, I guess, Kislev. We could sail down here to Lokir, see if we can't get him to be friendly as well. I'm gonna say Kislev's more likely. Just generally speaking, it's more likely. And I take it we don't need to, well, we can't wake any more guys because we don't have any more money remaining to wake them. Therefore, skip, and turn. Alright, Constructor, we don't care about that. We do care about the Proclamation of the 6th Dynasty, at least to some degree. And next we will go for, so we did the first of the Tomb Guard upgrades. I guess we could go for the second. Yeah. Because we gotta essentially, we gotta go one tech of these and then one tech that takes 1 turn. 2 turns, 1 turn, 2 turns, 1 turn, because then the 2 turns always are done in 1 turn. Yeah, did that make sense? Anyway, we'll go for the Tomb Guard Stronger Binding. Though there's a lot of good stuff in here, so we may as well get through it all, so because it's a 1 turn now everywhere. Anyway, what else do we want to do here? Settra. Oh, let's start with you, sir. Still annoyed at these guys not being here, and oh no, did the ogres win the fight? I think the ogres won the fight, because I don't see that little army anymore. Alright, I'm gonna send you up here to try to find Katep, under the assumption that the... Okay, I see King Lysimachus, that does not help us. You, I assume, can take Bloody Tusk's encampment without intervention, right? Now, this guy might survive, which would be annoying. You know what, maybe we chase this guy down first. Alright. Declare war. We cannot ask anybody, but we need to kill these guys or else, you know, annoyance will ensue. Like so. Then we'll have you attack this. You're gonna run away. Hopefully not so far that we can't go back to this and then have to send Settra in, but if it happens, it happens. Not the biggest of deals to resolve this. This better not kill off our chariots now. Okay, we're good. And let's see. Please tell me you can still reach the place. You can just reach it. Beautiful. Alright, move on in, King Alcazar, and auto-resolve for obvious reasons, and hopefully this destroys the faction. Yeah, free healing potion. Won't say no to that, occupy. You can hold on to it for now. Red Horn Tribe destroyed, okay, good. And a source of tusks, which is one of the things we don't have. We don't have furs, tusks, or wine, I believe. And, well, okay, obviously we don't have things like elven trinkets or beer, but, you know, undead and all that. You can, I guess, uncollect the income for now. We are most likely keeping this territory, but we do want to max out the growth, so let's do that. You go find Katep. In fact, I'm willing to send you up there in March stance because I really don't see Katep declaring war on us. I assume he's up here with the rest of his armies. He is not. Okay, well, we need to go to Morkheim anyway to get the book, but what the heck? Where did he go? Okay. he had like 5 armies all sitting around with him. And now he's running away. Maybe he caught sight of Settra and is now terrified, which, you know, he should be. I think Settra's gonna punish him again. Let's go to Zemesi Oasis. And then we're gonna have to chase down Demahard Doomonger. Like so, quick little auto-resolve. We haven't yet run into a full stack belonging to these guys, so I do wonder where it is. They might be sort of busy fighting up north, in the realm of the sorcerer, so there is that. At least potentially. Oh, we got furs out of here. Nice. Alright, now we do have furs. Mausoleum, please. You, Wakaf, will not be able to approach Xar's column. You cannot do it in one turn, meaning you're better off doing it next turn. Go into... I mean, channeling sense is pointless, isn't it? Well, just whatever, I don't care. Alright, go here. I guess we could raid. It's gonna be a tiny amount of cash, but, you know, better than no cash. 61. Dune Kingdom rebels. I mean, if they take it, we'll just kill them as well. Anyway, that was... past Hakor for some reason, because I didn't have you attack those. Go kill Floating Village. There is not enough defenses because the Beastmen and the Ogres destroy themselves, so it's a free little auto-resolve. And a War Banner. That's nice, actually. That can go on War Sphinxes. Weapon strength and reload reduction. Occupy. And are the ogres destroyed now? Yes, Blood Guzzlers are destroyed, Marshes of Madness are secured, though not forever, as we will be trading them to our... do we still upgrade it? Maybe not. Anyway, as we will be trading them to our lizard friends, as well as Reekmarsh and all of this. Where did Katep go? Well, whatever. Anyway, let's see who's next. King Rakash. Ooh, yes. Okay, so we got armies being nearly completed. We should really just raid these guys until they stop holding on to that agreement. Setep, I will have you trade with Thutep. Wait. Trade with Thutep. I guess we're gonna have to let one of the Screaming Skulls go, because we need a proper melee line here, so sorry to this Screaming Skull, we'll take the 2 Celestial Lions. Alright, now we have Blood Roar out of the Necrotects. We have Screaming Skull Catapults with Discourage. We'll probably put Discourage on, at the very least, the Lich Priest as well. We have the Sepulchrex, which have the Dread of the Dead Gods, minus 25 leadership, and then we have the huge leadership shocks of the Doom and Darkness, and then potentially the secondary shock, the Soul Blight as well. Now, we need to send them against not undead, so we shouldn't bother sending them down here. I guess we could get undead melting away quickly, but... I mean, kind of an interesting matchup, if nothing else. Although, if we send them down here, they'd be stuck down here for a while. I kind of don't like that. We do need somebody to go up here to Sartosa, I believe, or somewhere near here, up here. There's a Book of Nagash here, and I think there's another one up here somewhere. But again, it will mean probably fighting some undead, or who knows what army is holding that. Anyway, I think for the first turn, or two, we'll just raid these guys' territories for a little bit, until they're ready to, well, you know, attack us. Or cancel the agreement. Shouldn't be too long. Here we got Pertinacious, NEHEKHARA Ingenuity, and Frenetic, and... okay, I don't really care about those guys. Alright, we'll have to wake another Necrotect in a second. Thutep, now, I would like you to do 2 things. First of all, move slightly forward. Second of all, I would like you to recruit 2 more... where are we here? 2 more... oh, we can only recruit 1? Okay, well, we need more Jet Lions. Because this is the Sphinx army. Speaking of Sphinxes, you are going to transfer to them the 2 Necro Sphinxes. The Lich Priest of NEHEKHARA, I believe, is for you, however. And we'll start with transferring the Carrion. I'm no longer exactly sure whether we will have enough slots for both Carrion and Sphinxes, because we need War Sphinxes as well. I guess we could reduce their numbers to 2 instead of 4 in theory, and still have room for Carrion and Tomb Princes, because we'll want a bunch of Tomb Princes in here as well, and Necrotechs to heal the, them. Yeah. We don't have another Genius Architect here, do we? Oh, actually, I guess we wouldn't need one in this army. Well, actually, we would. I lied. Because of the Jet Lions, which are also constructs. Oh. Alright, do we have another... okay, let's wake the Necrotect first. Dibs on the band name, wake the Necrotect. Necrotect you. 6,000 gold now, getting more and more expensive. Soon it's gonna cost like 10,000 gold plus per raised hero, but again. Let's get rid of the Frenetic one. One day we'll find the rare one, and yeah, it does seem to be the fact that there are definitely rare traits, because we got that one Tomb Prince, remember, that we gave to Khalida that had Wise, and had a bunch of buffs for the Lord's Experience. We saw that one single time in 81 turns. We also saw that one special Necrotech one time in 81 turns, which is kind of neat. I kind of like the fact that there are some super rare traits. I don't know if it's just my horrific luck or not, but, you know. Can you recruit anything interesting here? Oh, you can't entomb beneath the sands? Okay, well, we'll have King Thutep then build a Sphinx Legion. And we gotta build him anyway. And I don't know if it's going to go to you guys, but while you're here, you might as well build more tomb barks. I mean, why not? Ooh, I also believe... Okay, once we're done with these guys, a moment. I wonder what's here. You know what? Let's risk sending Jocked out here. I hope that he doesn't get himself killed. It really depends on if the rats have a strong elite army here. Or if they have any army at all. And what kind of garrison it is, because we have just garbage, basically. But hey, enough garbage to activate the Realm of Souls, if nothing else. At least this would allow you to proceed to the Cliffs of Dawn and maybe even help out against these guys without having Khalida to loop back around this way. Because that would be really swell. Alright, head to the Cliffs of Dawn. Which should, in theory, be a minor settlement, but I guess we're going to have to wait and see. Alright, I like the way the things are going in these mountains. So you guys are good. Khalida, you have now taken the 6 watch forts, and... you could chase down Philip Ivan the Crazy before heading to the Golden Lotus Ruins. A little bit annoying, but he is a... we have a mission to kill him from somebody. I don't know who, but somebody. So we might as well do it. How was it? Are you frickin' kidding me? The tomb bark will die to this? What if we lose the banner? Okay. Okay. I'm laughing at my own annoyance because this is we've had some ridiculous auto-resolve. This is just I don't even know what to say. This tiny little army has taken on like 2.5 full stacks at once with several war wagons with no problem whatsoever. And here we've got this nonsense. All right, just go. Just go, start battle, kill this. Khalida, go and kill those war wagons. Let the enemy head towards us, I don't really care. The Spokal Stalkers will kill them anyway. You guys get ready to move on up. You guys get ready to move on up. Khalida, you're gonna take a few hits, but you have these Sacral Serpents. Spawn those, kill the enemy lord. And do we want to activate anything here? Tomb Strike maybe. Alright, you guys kill the Wardens of the West, you guys kill the Wardens of the West, and I guess you guys can move forward and kill the Wardens of the West. Go figure. Alright, Khalida, go for that Venom Wave just because you can. You want to use your healing potion, you're not going to get damaged anymore here. And everybody else will be fine. I didn't even heal the other units with our healing. As in the Necrotech, but clearly it's not needed here, but the game is just being absolutely ridiculous. Alright, there we go. Khalida, kill this guy because it's personal now. Alright, good. Last little units of Wardens of the West will melt away, and Khalida will kill off that Master Engineer. In a second, probably, yeah, okay, it's just getting knocked around 5 million times. Alright, there we go. Oh, the silliness, the absolute silliness. On the bright side, this does remind me to get the, to get another mission going from our allies. Which is a good thing. As soon as we actually get there, you know. Come on. Come on. Completely necessary game. And now it's going to take 8 years to load. What did I do to deserve this? Have I offended Petra in some way? Alright, nearly there. It's all good. I'll cut this out if I remember to, but I might not, because it only took a minute or so, as compared to the last time that happened. Anyway, you can end this march for faster moving next turn, because I'm hoping that you can reach this place, Golden Lotus Ruins, well, next turn. You can switch into raiding stance, since you can't reach anything. Yeah, alright, fine. Raid. 51? Okay, it's not worth it. Get closer to Golden Lotus Ruins, then. I figure, just in case there's another army that shows up. Ah, we're so close to Lamia. It's been such a critical location that we wanted to go after. Aha, Agents of the Moon. Reap Bile and Avril Delane. Who will we reach first? Well, Avril's worth a lot more, or a little bit more, rather. There's a Bruno up here. Demahar Doommonger, we're gonna have to chase him down anyway, although he's gonna run away from us and it's gonna be annoying, but take him out anyway. Alright, good. Who is next? We've got King Lamazash, who is now not quite ready, but getting there. Let's pick up these islands with him real quick. Let's see if that gives us enough XP to level up one of these guys into a bow unit. But the real thing that we want is there's a book down here with a super elite army. Castle Forged Steel, please, and Sorceral Blades. I'm sure that'll help. And grab the this island next. Get a little bit of XP out of the Skull Island, heal up, and then head to that book. And then maybe vassalize Mr. Oshiotla while you're at it. There are some rats to fight unless I'm mistaken. Though I guess we'd want to start from here, so maybe it would be better to land here to make sure that they can't bypass us. It would mean trading territory to Oshiotla anyway. Oh, and there is a Norse confection around down here? Alright, so there's at least some enemies for the Ushabti to sort of start fighting. Anyway, Prince Scout, you're done up here. Head out this way. And I believe that's it, other than the building. Unless we want to give more money to the to these guys, but I think we're okay. They're recruiting, they're all recruiting, so hopefully they'll be fine. And if everybody here declares war on us, then, well, they'll win, I'm hoping. Yeah, Lethanar's not gonna be happy about this, but what can you do?
But you are a king of dark.
Not a big deal. If we ever get time, we could always send we can always send an army up there just to wipe everybody out. Great Pyramid. You know what, I'm just gonna build this restored War Sphinx statue just because I don't want to look at it every turn and the fact that it isn't completed. Alright, what do we have here? Let's build the more critical stuff though. Ooh, hello. Alright, so Red Cloud Mountains. You know, we're probably going to keep you. We've been investing in you for too long now, and it feels wasteful to not keep you. So, let's start building the Pyramidians everywhere here. North Barrier Idols, yes to the Pyramidian. Go actually start with this Pyramidian, because we can upgrade these two things. Alright, looks good to me. Blightwater. Wait, did I forget something at Red Cloud? No, I did not. What do we have here? Blight River Falls. I guess we gotta upgrade you first and then the Pyramidian after. We can, however, build the Parched Oasis, the very first one. I can't believe we went so long without getting our first Oasis, go figure. You will upgrade your Refurbished Workshop, but otherwise it's Pyramidian spam time. Soon we can get rid of the defenses here, as well as they will no longer be needed. So we can make the, make the province, generally speaking, a little bit more useful. You can go for that Refurbished Workshop. Western NEHEKHARA, yes to the Refurbished Workshop, go figure again. And another Pyramidian for you. Lovely. Mountains of Dunway. Did I forget something here? No, it's just the defenses upgrades. Now, these places will probably be traded to the Cathans, but I will continue thinking about it. For now, though, let's build the Restored Tomb at Teshert, but forego anything other than... I'm gonna start with the Hidden Sanctum this time. Alright. 6 Watch Forts. The new territory. I may as well build you up to tier 3. I'm gonna forego building defenses and just hope that it doesn't screw us over. You can be gotten rid of now, though. And I guess you can be gotten rid of as well, as we will be replacing you all with Pyramidians. Bani al-Hashim Oasis can defend itself. You know what, let's temporarily build the defenses here. It's not gonna cost us much, especially if we're going to delete it all anyway. You... are fine, but we can build a Pyramidian here. Like so. Wait, no, I screwed that up. I forgot that we were going to get you up to tier 5 in 3 turns. Yeah, alright, so that's more critical. Black Pyramid of Settra. Too bad we can't rename the entire province. We could upgrade the Restored Hierotitan statue, but we're actually kind of out of money, and I was banking on raising some more heroes shortly. We're not going to bother investing there, but Grove of Thorns we very much are, so let's build a mausoleum, and let's actually start with the treasure tomb. Eventually start with a treasure tomb, so nothing. Alright, we'll ignore that, and then Wadi el-Tebuk we can't build anything anyway, so we'll just ignore as well. Lovely. Okay, and the reason I wanted a treasure tomb was because of the adjacency bonuses, because this place will be adjacent to, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 provinces? Something along those lines, so that was pretty good. Alright, it looks like that's another end turn unless I'm mistaken, or at least unless I've forgotten something. Let's find out. Hero not moved, building upgrade available, I know. Outpost upgrade, ooh. We could do that. Alrighty, Stronger Binding up and running, slight power up for our Tomb Guard. Ooh, so close to 50k, nice. What do we have here? So now these are up to 2, so we can do one thing that takes 1. And I'm gonna say this time we'll do the Ageless Colossi. I want that restock for the Bone Giants. I saw them run out, and as long as we use 2, they can always re-up each other, so that's a nice thing. It's kind of annoying how these guys are all kind of taking territory together. Not that we care that much about it, as long as they become vassals for the Harkus Kotep. He's annoying Settra further. Alright, go here. I see King whatever. Oh, I wonder if Kateb's up here moving to Reekmarsh instead. Can't believe all of his armies separated into different locations. Hakor, I guess you're going to Reekmarsh anyway, so if we find him there, we'll find him there, go figure. And go into, I guess Entomb, because we can't get to enemies raiding territory anyway. Although, one turn of attrition isn't going to be that much. Maybe get as close to it as you can first. Oh, huh. Watch them attack you. It's just a giant pile of zombies. I think the Settra's Hawk Legion can more than handle themselves there. Actually, speaking of Settra, I guess we're gonna have to go for Morgheim for the book, because I can't spot Kateb. Oh, but if we declare war, then we put this fella in danger. Yeah, he can handle it, he's fine. Alright, declare war. You are currently at war with Kateb. Go figure. Give us all your money. Strigos Empire. You didn't have a lot of money, but I guess you can rarely, if ever, get a lot out of the Tomb Kings in that regard. Anyway, Morkan. Except Settra, of course. And, okay, see everybody except Kateb. This, I feel like, is... I mean, I do like fighting the vampire counts, but against Settra's army, this is kind of pathetic. They have no chance. One single stack, just auto-resolve. Heavy damage to our chariots, but hey, might make battle against Kateb more interesting. Occupy. Alrighty, and this will be a tier 3 settlement, huh? I wonder, just out of curiosity, if we were to give you Morgheim, you would indeed become our vassal, which is nice. This also unlocks in Book of Nagash, the second book, campaign line of sight over regions with golden idols, marble, and gemstones. So I guess, yeah, we can see lots and lots of places on the map. This might now... Oh wow, look at that. Grimgor. He's made his way into the mountains. I wonder if Karakadrin has indeed fallen, got crushed by the Wargrove of Woe and by Grimgor's Ard Boys. That's kind of interesting. Just take a look at the map, generally speaking. Okay, there's Lokir. Not super friendly with us, but doesn't hate us. Kind of wanted to see what's going on. Is there anything here? Who is this? The Star-Guided High Elves. And they're still kicking in this place? It's kind of interesting, too.
Come and join me.
And they have 2 territories, not much, but they're high elves, so they'll be a trading partner, potentially. Anything else? Oh, no. Wait, this gave us a vision of Zinch factions? Okay, wait. Where is Zinch? We need to immediately declare war against them all. I forgot that it would do that, and Zinch is just infuriating with its abilities. Warriors of Chaos, Vampires, Zinch case. So, we need to declare war on all of them. Alright. Declare war. I mean, I guess we could ask some of these guys to declare war for a little bit of cash, but... do we... I don't know. Maybe the Serpent's Harem join? They should be rich against the All-Seeing Eye. Yeah, barely giving us anything. Alright, fine. Just scrap it. Bother. Declare war. I assume these guys won't be like, no. Hopefully. Alright, now we're good. At least in that regard. Other Zinch factions? Where are we here? Okay, this is going to be a little bit annoying, but what can you do? Golden Stewards, you are out here. Okay, well, you're probably a good option to declare war against. I don't even know if the non-Kairos Zinch factions have the ability to annoy you with their, abilities, but I'm not risking it. That's for sure. A single sort of long-standing tier 5 settlement gets moved, and it's just not worth it to not declare war on them. Yeah, man, there's a lot of golden idols and stuff in the Realms of Chaos, aren't there, since we're here to declare war on all of them. And since we can now see all the Realms of Chaos, alright, and Soiree of Sorcery. Haven't seen Kairos himself yet, though, but we gotta, as soon as we catch sight of him, definitely do that. Maybe he's not doing so well. Alright, there we go. And we got all our vassals in on it as well. Hey, we're at 51k now. Lovely. Lovely indeed. And Khalida... Yeah, you can't reach Lamia. Not even close. I mean, again, your army is kind of waiting for the rest of its stuff. We go into Golden Lotus Ruins for now. And Pyrrhic Victory, it'll kill the frickin' Tombbark again. Alright, I'm gonna deal with you later. Or I will forget. There's potential for that as well. Anyway. Oh, we're in range of Demahar Doommonger. Isn't that lovely? Kill him. And I'd like to double check whether we have missions as well. Radio. Alright, auto-resolve. Not killing the Tombbark. At least here, and then take Endless March for the movement range. Alright, ally mission successful. Channel to counteract the anti-channeling. Then I would like you, enemy killed in battle. Go to diplomacy real quick for two purposes. First, war coordination. Jade Court wants us to kill Reap Bile. Rapunz is back. Yeah, let's go for Rapunz, why not? I don't know how long it'll take to get Reap Bile. You can go for Reap Bile. Alright, then we will also, before I forget, need to get the fourth and final of the jet lines going for the... There we go. Ah, they'll look so cute with the sphinxes. Anyway, that's nice. You will take Stars Column. I guess we could take out this little army first. I'm a little bit wary of what the auto-resolve will do to us, but let's just hope it ain't too bad. Go here. Kill Romaranef and then go for Xar's Column. Auto-resolve. And I guess heal, because who knows about the auto-resolve. Like so, and into Xar's Column. Auto-resolve. Yes, it'll work. Good. For NEHEKHARA, indeed. Armor of Silvered Steel. And we're going to have to send somebody up here as well into the Realm of Chaos, the Realm of the Sorcerer, to get the book out of there. Raise a few settlements on the way, of course. Might do it with Walkoff, but he's already been a star. Should we give somebody else a chance? I don't know. I'll think about it. Rakash, you're here waiting for the recruitment, so just stay here and channel, buddy. Set up, you're going to go into raiding for at least a few turns, and I'm just going to hope that these guys are going to be... that they're going to be upset enough about it to cancel our agreement. You can proceed to Cliffs of Dawn. And there's the army. Oh, damn. Up to a high tier settlement. Okay, this is obviously not worth fighting, even though it'll damage us. Occupy. And did I keep you in Grey Dynasty stance? Indeed I did. Good. You can go for... I mean... go for the growth for now, just real quick. And then obviously don't collect your income. Alright, Earthing Rod, Assured Assailant, Seasoned Campaigner, good. Cliffs of Dawn secured, and then we're here. You are thus not near that other army, which will probably not be able to reach it in time, meaning you can march stance towards Ashmere and hopefully take it. These will need to be given back to the Petra army, which I guess we're going to build in this army. There we go. Though it'll have to use a different lord, but we'll get there eventually. Alright, so Khalidah's besieging because she's kind of in an annoying position. What did I do with... Oh, right, Rakash can't do anything yet. He's going to be our contact effect army. There's a few things missing there. Oh, although... Rakash, you can entomb beneath the sands now, right? We're going to be we're recruiting... We're using all the recruitment slots here, right? Alright, we'll wait. He's going to be using Xandri Black Shields, which are skeleton warriors, so we can use regular skeleton warriors there until we're ready to replace them. Skeleton spears, rather. And because they apply bleed, since it's a contact effect army. Makes sense to me. Anyway, you grab this and explore the island. Alright, you don't have your mage. We're going to pop that mage in there. Alright, so the icon of the Sacred Eye can indeed be given to the skeleton archers, but that's just a horrible waste. Let's do this. Can't be given to Screaming Skull catapults. I don't know why they made this unapplicable to so many ranged-only units. It's kind of silly. And we'll give it to the Blessed Legion of Construction Reduction here, but we will... If we can get Legion of the Asp, I will actually want to transfer these units, or all of the archers to that army, because it'll be a much more heavy skeleton archer-based army. Because here they get so outshined by the Ushabti with Great Bow and otherwise that, it feels like the thing to do. Anyway, you are currently in Gulf of Fear, controlled by us, so go right here, beside the big old skull, and then get the XP and money there. And, ooh, wait. Alright, you were already at level 15, so we already got what we needed out of you. At least out of your unique line. Alright, just sit there. We could get Neru for the ward save, though I do wonder whether we actually get a lot of mileage out of it there. I also do wonder whether we'd keep the Casket of Souls if we get what we want, but anyway, for now, we'll just keep going as we are and then make adjustments as needed. Hey, King Alcazar. So you are going to go hunt down the Nurglites. And I'm going to have you move... Okay, let's risk March Stancing and then hope that they don't have a big old full stack there that will obliterate you. Keep on trespassing in these guys' territory. What do we have here? Yeah, it's Reap Bile, but his army's kind of pathetic, so... Shouldn't be an issue, I would think. And Alcazar, you've also reached your 15, so you're good. Who's next? King Setup. Alright, so, alright, no. You're raiding for a turn or two, and... Okay, I guess we're gonna have to fight that little fight with Khalida. Okay. Huh, I wonder if the enemy would be willing to sally out, or should we just let the tomb barge die? I do feel like it has been useful, though. And I hate to... then they take 3 turns to recruit, so it's kind of... We lose more turns, right? Alright, set up, stay here for a turn, and let's wait until that guy finishes moving, but otherwise we got a few buildings to build at this point. We're looking like we're reaching that building critical mass. Here, we will construct the Royal Burial Chamber, as we do everywhere, and start once again with the Hidden Sanctum. We'll leave the City of Kings alone for now. Blight River Falls, we will start once again with the... Oh, yes. Royal Burial Chamber, and then we'll go for the Fated Pyramidion, and then build more Pyramidions in these other locations. North Barrier Idol, go figure, go for a Pyramidion, and upgrade the 2 Pyramidion-based buildings. Did I do a Necrotech check this turn? Another Genius Architect. Well, isn't that lovely? Yes, we will get you on field for these guys. We needed 2 of these after all. Genius Architect. Oh, lovely. Only starting at rank 13 instead of 15 or 18 or whatever it was that we were before, but, well, too bad. Shifting Sands. Pyramidion. Who'da thunk it? Alright, and then one more Pyramidion here, and upgrade Nalial. Good. And should we just upgrade you until... Or should we delete you now? You're probably safe down here, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, you know what? I think we no longer need these buildings here, at least. I doubt it. I assume that Tzeentchans can't jump from here to here. I think they can't. I think I tried it in a previous campaign and it wasn't possible, so we should be good. And I guess Western NEHEKHARA is safe as well, so delete these defenses, and also build you and you. And then we're good there. We will keep the... I was about to say keep the defenses here, but we never built them here, so I guess we're safe. Alright, and there's no further defensive structures needed down here? Beautiful. Alright, Blight River Falls, I already did ya, so we're going to ignore ya. Red Cloud Mountains, which we decided to keep. Yes, start spamming Pyramidions everywhere you can, please. Like so. And I guess you can be deleted now. The reduction in growth is going to be a little bit unfortunate, but what can you do? At least the public order is now fine. We can delete you. We can keep you until we build a Pyramidion. There we go. Looks good to me. West Barrier Idols, Xark's Column, yes. Would be nice if we had some barrier idols there, but what can you do? This we'll ignore because again might be going to our other our ally Black Pyramid. Okay, let's just build a stupid Pyrotitan statue. I don't want to see it every turn. 6 watch forts. Yeah, keep the defenses up and running for now until we have no further need of them, but otherwise start spamming those Pyramidions. And, of course, the Undead Quarrymen. And you'll need a Pyramidion here as well, but for now, nothing. You, Morgheim, will uncollect because we're going to be trading it. I guess we'll trade it next turn because we need Settra to heal up a little bit. He does have that fight with Katep. I'd laugh so much if Katep decided to just bum rush us with all of his armies right now. Hey, if this is his only opportunity, his only chance to do so. Yeah, I would respect it, is what I'm getting at. Anyway, a treasure tomb, what the heck? A little bit of vampiric corruption. Oh, alright, well either way, Fated Pyramidion here. The growth is kind of meh, but it'll get there. A Bloody Tusks encampment. We're keeping the place, so build the Mastaba, Southern World's Edge. I guess we're keeping the place as well, but, yeah, I mean, they're not going to take Doom Mountain. I don't see it happening. We actually got a Royal Burial Chamber out of it. We'll delete these, but in a bit. And once it's reached maximum public order, kind of on the fence about trading these for these, because we might use them to vassalize other factions, but we'll just wait on that. Anyway, Cliffs of Dawn is fine. Bitter Wind. This is one of the new places, and we can't build anything here. So I guess we'll wait. I guess we could build temporary growth buildings until we replace them with Pyramidions anyway. More growth will mean faster build-up of the place. Alright, there we go. That's good. We have a little bit of money remaining, which most likely next turn we'll just use to wake more. We got another great incantation of Tahoth coming up. Oh, to wake more heroes. For now, though, the last thing that we need to do is take a look at all the new factions that we've spotted. There's a million of them. Wow, there's now so many of them that Quick Deal just lags. 30, 30. Rakadrak's still alive. Kultisotek is around, though not for much longer. Alright, nothing interesting out of this, and again, Settra vassals only. How soon? Okay, no. We'll need to trade him territory. I was wondering how quickly we'd be able to vassalize Imrik, but not quickly at all. Alright, this we can ignore. Trade agreements. Alright, this one we will want to do. What do we have here? Ice Court. Ah, that's nice. A War Host of the Apocalypse. We've gotten the side of you. I guess we could trade with these guys. Alright. So trade with the Ice Court. And just keep getting trade agreements until we run out of, well, trade agreements to give. I'm tempted to trade with all the Southern Realmers as well, because maybe that will make us friendlier with the Barrow Legion if we can get access to the regular... Oh my lord, quick deal takes a long time. It makes us friendlier with those factions. We'll do the Central Confederacy since they have a lot of... Oh, Daughters of the Forest have an even more territory. Yeah, more territory means more value out of the trade agreements, so... We'll pick you first.
Agreement.
All hopefully eventually to be vassalized. Wow. Yeah, this really screwed that up, didn't it? Alright, don't care about the ogres, frankly. I'm not super interested in anything that they've got going for them. Huh, Scrag's still right. Huh. Is he down here, or is he up here? He could be both, but if he's in the desert, he will not be allowed to, you know, stay there. Let's go for Central Confederacy next. I don't even know why I'm bothering to take their money, because we don't really need it, but... Well, actually, we do need to wake more armies, so there is that. And more heroes, because every woken hero is another hero that will give us more canopic jars, which will mean more stuff. And we like stuff. Trantio to borrow. Trantio has a little bit more in the way of territory. Frankly, the ogres have even more, but I'm going to ignore them for now. Chattel of Jar. Well, they're still kicking. We could trade with them as well. They're the, I believe, Kislevite faction around Jar Nagrund, unless I'm mistaken. It's one of them, because they all have names of like that. Chattel of Jar, Slaves of Jar, Chained of Jar, etc. Are they still here? Yeah, that's correct. That was Kislevite faction. Alright. There's some Kislevite units, a little bit of ice and fire that we could potentially use, I suppose. But for now, it's all about making additional money. I wonder what our trade agreement, or trade income will be after all this. Alright, come on now. Still willing to trade. I really wish I could trade with the other Tomb King factions, but anyway. Who is the Stargate? Oh, right, this little Elven faction. Yeah, trade with them. Don't take their money. Let them maybe try to survive around the Maelstrom. Who knows? Oh! I wonder if this will give us vision of the little Tzeentchen faction around there. I don't even know if that's an active Tzeentchen faction, though, like if it can actually move out of the Maelstrom. Because if it can't, then I think it wouldn't be able to use its abilities on us, but who knows. Alright, I'm going to ignore the ogres by and large, at least for now. Especially if they're going to be... Huh, no diplomatic contact between these guys. It's kind of interesting. I think we're good for now. Alright, let's check out our trade agreements. Okay, we went from 6,000 to nearly 10,000. Pretty good. Pretty good. Alright. Certainly plenty of use out of that. And now, I believe we're ready to end the turn. No, we have to do that stupid little fight with Khalida. I don't really want to waste a turn, especially. No, and they've got walls, so we wouldn't be able to do it in a cinematic manner anyway. Alright, let's just quickly work our way through this one. What was this for again? Alright, okay, you know what? Maybe while here, we'll just quickly build up some spears just to help with the auto-resolve. Frankly, I should have done that earlier. I figured we'd be replacing them with more snakes and bone giants anyway, so it wouldn't matter, but clearly if it's going to cause us problems with the auto-resolve, it kind of does. And possibly another tomb bark if we can get our hands on one, but again, Lamia is the priority in terms of turns, so we don't care about that as much. Anyway, Khalida. Alright, you can't Vanguard deploy. All of your snake units can, but you cannot. It's another one of those things that the game has a tendency towards. Anyway, you... Okay, no, you guys are kind of in danger. Just stay back here. You two, you start firing at the gate, I guess? Yeah. Go fire at the gate. Go kill the gate. And let us start on the regrowth. Restore. Restore 1. Restore 2. Restore 3. Restore 4. Restore 5. Restore. I unclicked you. Alright, Khalida got hit by some range units, but that's fine. And I believe that's everybody. Restore-wise. Alright, and okay, you maybe don't fire at that anymore. Probably gonna damage Khalida if you... Hey! Okay, that did indeed actually hit Khalida. How dare you? Yeah, she's got plenty of healing, it's fine. Alright, let's speed this up. Just gotta wait through while we break through the gate to the wall or the something. How quickly does Khalida do it? Not nearly as quickly as Settra. Settra's horses are just so... so powerful, they'll eat through anything. Hey, they ate Kugath, they've eaten many a gate. No one can underestimate those horses at this point. Anyway, Khalida, you are going to be group 1 with the Venom Knights of SF. You guys are going to be group 2. You guys are going to be group 3. You're going to be group 4. And then you guys, I guess, can be group 5. I don't really care about you. Alright, how about that? Alright, nearly there. Handgunners. Huh. You can't use this up on top of walls, can you? You cannot. Is there another handgunner unit here? There are some up here that I guess we could annoy with the Legionary Barrage. Probably not going to be too effective. Alright, and the gate is down. Alright, head on forth. You guys head on forth as well. You're going to take some damage for those handgunners, but there isn't anything we can do about it. Probably could have buffed them up a little bit, but whatever. Alright, and we're in. Alright, I guess we could use some abilities and actually watch some of the fighting. Summon the Sacral Serpents, although I do wonder if they'll get in the way here. Oh, there's an enemy lord, yes. Let's go the Venom Wave. Keep fighting. And how are we for that fort wall? Alright, pretty okay. A little bit wary of the handgunners doing damage to the other units, so let's forego it for now. I would like you guys to go and kill those... Oh, just Pistoliers, not Outriders, so it's not as concerning, but nonetheless, go for the Empire Captain. And Sacral Serpents, we should summon you on top of a range unit, so it can't move any further. There we go. Now, these guys are up on platforms, but what they can't do is do anything about us going around them. So we'll go around them. Handgunners still up on the wall. They're not for much longer, I'd wager. They should be coming down from there, and then Khalida will have killed the Empire Captain. You know what? Let's speed that up with a nice Tomb Strike. Alright, you guys go for this. And are the handgunners going to attempt to get away? Let's find out. You go for the crossbows, and then one of you can go for the handguns. Still up there. Good for them. Alright, time for the Spokal Stalkers to move. Yeah, I'm sure some of them will take damage to this, but whatever. And Group 5 can move in as well. Khalida is fine. In fact, she's at full HP now. And everybody else out here is fine. And ooh, Sacral Serpents are taking a bit of a beating, but perhaps is unsurprising. Alright, Khalida, no need to heal anybody. Couple more shots from the Bone Giant. Oh, actually, he's gonna run out of ammunition before he can get too many more out. Alright, Necrotects. I was actually not wanting you to be the ones to take the damage. In fact, let us protect you a teensy bit. Oh, I didn't move the mage with you. My bad. Alright, well, just move on through. Another Venom Wave out of Khalida. There we go. Empire Captain. I mean, it's such a small, auto-resolvable fight that if the Tomb Bark wasn't here, we obviously wouldn't have bothered fighting it. We've taken like 3 times as many enemies and had no problem whatsoever with it. Alright, Sacral Serpents have actually not been completely destroyed. Good for them. Alright, good. Good, Khalida. Do you want a Venom Staff right in the faces of some of these units? Why not? Well, let's see. How effective will this be? Hopefully it doesn't hit one of these serpents, which is a distinct possibility. Or hopefully Khalida can actually get the ability off, or rather than get staggered a million times. Yeah, she's gonna get staggered a million times. Just not gonna cast it. Alright. Annoying though that may be. Otherwise, we're pretty much done here, I think, or at least we'll soon be. The handgunners, the biggest threats, are pretty much out of the picture. And hey, wouldn't you look at it, the handgunners are in now. Alright, Sepulchral Stalkers, you've nearly torn those those enemies apart. We've taken no significant amounts of damage. We wanted to use that Venom Staff, and hey, free summons. Oh, lovely. Go for the Tomb Strike again. Kill, and turn and kill. Bone Giant, you're out of ammo, so there is nothing you can do. Where is our little mage here? You know what, I'm just going to speed this up like so. I usually wouldn't do this, casting on top of a unit like this, but let's face it, Khalida's not going to have any trouble with any of this. Alright, you guys go up here, kill everything. Kill. Kill. Khalida. Flip away. And... how have you not shattered yet, enemy? Alright, let's just move towards whatever units remain and speed it up. Venom Wave. There we go. They're shattering. Alright, why was that not auto-resolvable? No damage whatsoever, though we didn't expect any damage to be here anyway. Probably could have let Khalida heal up to full, but all good. Lamia we might fight properly depending on if they have elites, like, you know, like great swords and maybe some cav or something, not just super basic troops. And super basic troops without buffs, obviously this is SFO and you can get those basic troops up to pretty darn high levels in terms of their capabilities. But being a garrison, they're not that. I wonder if this one halberdier unit in the center here managed to get this chevron from fighting these guys. It's not like they would have killed anything. Well, good for having been them, I suppose. Come on. Tiny little bit of loading. And there we go. Or I spoke too soon. Alright, occupy the place, and we can threaten Lamia itself now. Which looks to be tier 4, so should have at least something of a better garrison. Hopefully it doesn't have that wall, so we can make it a cinematic. Collect income? No. We will go for, I guess, growth to start. I need to grow it up as fast as possible. And that was the only thing that we needed to do this turn, so we'll skip on by and see if we get attacked. End turn. Alright, first things first, after this is done, we've got Confederation between Nuln and Sylvania. Well, I guess this is the non-vampiric Sylvania. Faction destroyed Westerland. Oh, that's unfortunate. We were trading with them. Speed, splash attack, power, and restock for Bone Giants. Heading on into now that these are 2 turns. I'm gonna say... Wait, these are still 2 turns? Huh. Shouldn't have building... Oh, I assumed that doing this would have taken it to 1 turn, but apparently not. We do need more Khemri and War Sphinx capacity, so this is a temptation. We also need more Tomb Prince and Lich Priests, rather than, you know, paying to wake them. This is all fine, but it's just, you know, making units stronger that are already pretty strong. And there's the Heralds as well. You know what, let's do a Herald. Let's do Herald of Xandri, is it? No. Herald of the Scorpion, yes. And bonus versus infantry for these guys. Might as well. And hey, we are indeed in range of Lamia here. Oh, I forgot to... I talked about building a bunch of these guys and I immediately forgot it. Maybe if we do... It's not gonna let us, is it? What are we looking at here, defenses-wise? Oh, wait, there's an army here. Might be more worth our time. We wouldn't be able to cinematic this anyway. Alright, Pyrrhic Victory. There's more enemies here, at least. I will think about it. Or I might fight it between the episodes, because... I mean... It's at least nearly 2 stacks. It's better than it was before. Katep, where the heck did you go? Alright, I see King Lysimachus. That does not help us. You, move out here, find Katep. Settra, move out to... I see Hakos. There he is, you little... Alright, you know what? I don't care that we're in attrition. Just march stance as far as you can go towards Katep. Then... Well, I wasn't originally intending to do so with Morgheim. I guess we'll trade it to these guys. Morgheim for vassalage. There we go. And he's gonna betray the Golden Order and the Order of the Winter Sun. But it is what it is. All the elves belong to us. Okay, good. And outpost, I guess in the floating tower. Where are we here? Flying fort. Really? Wait, don't tell me you never built... Huh. Did he never build elite units here either? In one of my other campaigns, I noticed that Techless never teched up. Techless is an inappropriate name is what I'm getting at. And yeah, I mean, at least he has access to eagles, which we could use with Carrion. Might be making them a little bit stronger. That we can definitely do. Weird. Alright, well, maybe he just doesn't have enough money. Construct the outpost, the Flying Fortress, and then eventually, once we have a little bit of cash to spare, we'll give him a little bit of cash. Now we need to do the same thing with these guys, the Golden Order. And yes, it's a lot of Badlands territory that could potentially be ours, but there's no landmarks here, and we have enough territory to be getting on with. We want vassals now. Admittedly, though, Techless has been doing pretty good. Look at that. Usually these guys are in trouble against whatever they find in the... whatever they find down here. Now you... Oh, you can't reach them? No. Oh, come on. Alright, Entomb Beneath the Sands to heal. Or wait. Yeah, this won't make you immune to attrition. And raiding won't heal you enough. Alright, fine. Entomb Beneath the Sands. I was gonna hope to hit Urikmarsh this turn, but I guess next turn we'll do as well, Hakor. Fine by me. Panat. You two are marching northwards. Alright, so you go here, and then Wakaf will maybe march towards this location. Alright, and the other thing we need to do is double check for missions. I should have maybe put you into march stance, which we can no longer do, but it's all good. Alright, let's see. Diplomacy and the Defenders of the Great Plan, ally missions. That will do Rapunz as well. Alright, good. Oh, wait, one of you has defeated Rapunz and one of you has not. So, End of an Errant. Okay, so meaning we actually have to remember to send Wakaf to get End of an Errant as well for the additional little bit of research, right? Ah, alright. If I don't forget in like 5 minutes, which is a distinct possibility. How have you not broken the frickin' trade agreement? You know what, I'm just gonna do it myself. It's 10 turns, whatever. They're never gonna do it. If they won't do it at minus 82, they'll never do it. There we go. No more treaty. No, we can't have them living here. Right in the middle of our territory, and they won't vassalize. We still have to wait for you to build up anyway. Ooh, Necrotech check. Come on. Now another intelligent one. Decent time to wake a Necrotech, though. Alright. Wakey, wakey. Dark Brotherhood. Alright, that's one new servant, and we can, I guess, raise a... Well, let's go for a Tomb Princess. Well, actually, we kind of want to wait until we've completed their buffs in terms of going through their... Yeah, just wait then. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, it's the buffs that they need to be recruited at a higher rank. 15 is okay, but we could get them up at like 21 or something. Take out the intelligent one. Come on, rare Necrotect. It honestly doesn't really matter that if we never get him, because the army that they need to go into, Hakor's army, already has been using this quote-unquote temporary Necrotect, who's at this point at level 18, so he's fine. It's not like the army is reliant on it. Anyway, Rakash is staying where he is until the recruitment is completed. Fuck them. You are going down to Amber's Skull. I wish I hadn't said your name. But oh well. YouTube doesn't seem to like it. Go down here, see what's going on. And it looks like the rats are attempting to return to Ashmere. But probably not for long. Go here to Ashmere. And yeah, not worth our time. Fighting, auto-resolve it, and that will be the last territory of Clan Claw, who declared war on us twice, mind you, so they definitely earned this. We can immediately upgrade this place as well. Lovely. And then these guys should destroy themselves attacking Doom Mountain because it's well defended, right? Just to double check that this is indeed their last territory. Indeed it is, and we're certainly not piecing out with them. Ooh, wait. Let's do a Zinch check, just in case. Yeah, okay. We're at war with them all. I just wanted to double check that we didn't come into contact with Kairos, because then we'd have to immediately declare war on him. Anyway, you're gonna keep on building for one more turn. Lamazash, you are ready to go for a Skull Island, and thus your sort of debut battle. Now, what, if anything, do we want for you for this? I don't know about these things because it depends on what your final army form is gonna look like. The magic item drop chance from battle isn't too bad, though. Yeah, let's do it. It'll be a while until we can get benefits out of rank 7s for these guys, so we can ignore it for now. What about the 2 Necrotechs? You're rank 17. And buffing the Ushabti is actually really good for the Necrotechs because they can double dip, so it's pretty solid. We'll start buffing the Ushabti. Oh. Well, I guess we'll want to Master Bone Sculpture with you, but afterwards. Anyway, Skull Island, Lamazaj, Ushabti. Move in and go. Raid the Cove. Let's see what we're looking at here. Alright, we got a bunch of artillery, a bunch of depth guard, though the enemy has a lot of polearm depth guard, which should be pretty threatening to our regular Ushabti. We will fight this. Go. Alrighty, here we go. King Lamazash's army here to make its debut with all of those units of Ushabti of various kinds. And ooh, I like the eyes of the Chosen of the Gods here. They look pretty neat. Speaking of the Chosen of the Gods and the various Ushabti with Great Bow, because of the sort of massive buffs provided by Lamazash, we got 66 melee attack and defense on the Ushabti with Great Bow, which is pretty darn solid. I'd be willing to bet that the army would actually be a lot stronger if we didn't even bother with the melee Ushabti and just went for all range Ushabti. And just because we'd be able to increase the amount of range damage massively, and then if the enemy should close the distance, while the Ushabti with Great Bow aren't great melee fighters, with the stats buffed up as they are, they should still be able to hold their own. Anyway, rather than immediately rushing forward and destroying the enemy artillery, we're going to let them fire away at us and have a little bit of a shootout here. Gonna make the battle a little bit more even, a little bit more fair, and we will just see how it goes. Of course, the enemy has now reached the range of our Ushabti with Great Bow, which are going to do their best to focus down as many of the depth guards, specifically depth guard with polearms, that they can, and all the other units as their secondary potential targets. And these guys are pretty darn good at knocking out elite infantry, considering the high alpha damage that they've got available to them. Now, this is kind of an ideal situation for them, at least in terms of their targets here. That said, there's plenty more of the enemies coming, and the enemy range units, if not targeted at all, are still going to be pretty darn dangerous to all those Ushabti. And though the Chosen of the Gods with their split shot ability are probably going to, well, split a lot of the enemy apart. There we go. You gotta love the speed with which the sort of the main shot and then the split happens there. It's pretty neat looking. Anyway, the enemy lord is down to about less than half of the HP as they continue taking fire. King Lamazash. There you go. Was taking a long time to aim, but that's alright. How much damage is he doing? 750, not too bad, and the blinded effect, I'm sure, is probably helpful. Here we go, down goes the enemy lord. And the fire continues. That said, the first of the enemy melee troops have reached our ranks over on the left and right flanks alike, and that's where we send in our melee Ushabti. Unlike Mr. Hakor's army, where they would have the support of the irregular NEHEKHARA warriors with twin blades to help them out. These guys are fighting on their own. Granted, they're significantly more buffed up here than in that army, but they lack a little bit of that extra HP that the NEHEKHARA warriors would offer. All good, though. They can certainly mince the enemy depth guard, and by the looks of it, there isn't too much left of the enemy army. Some of the enemy zombies have made their way towards our skeleton archers, but they're just going to have to hold the line while we work on the rest of the remaining enemies. The artillery have been destroyed now by our own artillery piece as the Casket of Souls has brought them down, and the Ushabti will tear to shreds the last of the remaining zombies in depth guard, giving the battle to us. Alrighty, a lovely little debut for this army. You gotta love watching Ushabti fight. They're pretty darn entertaining. Scorpions are entertaining too. Hyrotitans are entertaining. Sphinxes are entertaining. You got a lot of really fun units to watch in the Tomb King's roster, you gotta admit. And I think we have every single unit type on the field. I mean, I guess we have for a while now. I'm just trying to think, is there any unit that we haven't been using? I mean, technically skeleton warriors and skeleton spears, but we have plenty of NEHEKHARA warriors doing their thing. And we just don't have spare armies to be sending around basic skeleton warriors and skeleton spears. They don't really serve too much of a purpose when we have Tomb Guard, as many as we'd like. But anyway. Alright, there we go. Nicer a little way to fight that particular battle, as we were able to get a little bit of a shootout going with the enemy cannons between them doing 6.6k damage to us. Otherwise, they were felled, all of them, by the Ushabti with Great Bow, unsurprising, and 4.4k damage out of King Lamazash. Not so bad considering he's a ranged lord. Wonder what degree we can upgrade his personal capabilities. I wonder if he has a ranged damage line. Actually, that's curious. You know what, let's heal so that we don't have to heal further out here. It is a solid amount of cash, but nonetheless. We'll do that. And we'll pick up a little bit of cash or 10,000 gold out of this anyway, so yeah, and a free Iron Curse icon. I would just want to see here. Hard to hit Conqueror, Blade Master, yeah, so despite the fact that he's a bow guy, he doesn't actually have anything here that buffs up his range, but he does have this. No additional damage to his bow, though, by the looks of it. Which is a bit of a shame, but what can you do? Alright, what were we looking through next? Alright, let's just do Narrows. The ward save is still probably going to come in very handy. Alright, and then you... Okay, so these guys are nowhere near leveled, but that's alright. You're going for that little army. Now, if you're wondering what I wanted to replace the skeleton archers in this army with, if we're able to get them into a different army with the Legion of the Asp, it's the Cathan units, the Terracotta Warriors, so that we can have an all-construct army with a melee line made up of constructs and all of these constructs as well. That's the plan anyway. As to whether it'll, happen that way, we'll see. Also, let's move NEHEKHARA, our mage, here as well. Being the only NEHEKHARA mage here after all. Anyway, Rakash is fine. Let's see, Alcazar, the second. Alright, so looks like those... Let's see, is Kugath back? He is not back. Ooh, wait, stop. Can we draw them out? Or will they run? Do we care about drawing them out? Well, these guys coming in as reinforcements might be worse for them, but then again, it probably won't matter all that much. I'll just attack it directly. You. Let's level you up before we go. We already have Narrows. I guess we should get the magic item drop chance. Everybody should have it. Frankly, we should really move through Sun-Scorched Bones, but there's adjustments that still need to be made to this army, which is why I'm not, the most concerned. You have Air Command Persevere. You have Esteemed Combatant, meaning you're free to start going through Conqueror and all the way up towards Desert Strike, I guess. And then you're kind of in the same situation, unless I'm mistaken. Indomitable Will. Any... Now, you will have the... Wait. Actually, that's a question. Let me just see here. The Herald of the Chariot, which is the Herald of... not Khemri. Not Sphinx. Mahrok, is it? No. Zandri? Yes, it's Zandri. So this gives us missile strength for Skeleton Archer Chariots and Vanguard deployment for Skeleton Chariots, which Settra already has, meaning we wouldn't bother giving this to Settra, and as much as nice as it would be. It also does a small buff to Carrion, a decent buff to Carrion, but it's probably not worth putting them in this particular army, because we wouldn't have enough space for so many fragile units. Yeah, I guess we could do the Herald of Zandri next. I'm just saying that what this would also do is not enable us to get 6 banners on all of these chariots. And we'd have to choose other different ones. I mean, I guess we could do banners on 4 of them, make them a little bit tankier and apply that Sundering armor. Or we could do the Tomb Bark, so we could give the casket... Wait, no, the casket can't get that buff anyway. Alright, you only have this one Screaming Skull, which is kind of weird, but it was partly because I wasn't sure whether we were going to keep it in this particular army. On the other hand, I wanted this army to function different from Settra's, and the additional range might be nice, especially if we put a couple of Ushabti in here. Since you're sort of a general kind of lord, we could have various buffs to you. Maybe that'd be a nice way to do it. I don't think about it. For now, let's get you some of these. Emblem of Withering. They're still nice pretty much everywhere. Let's do 4 for now. And then we'll see about afterwards. Anyway, head on into the Wyvern Cliffs, if you would. Which will wipe out Kugath for good. Let's give these to... I don't know. Let's do the 4 chariots here. On the edges. Maybe keep these sort of in reserve? I don't know. Again, it might be better to put them on the Tomb Barks, but for this particular battle we should be fine. Go. Alrighty, here we go. I noticed that the Tomb King's chariot is also a 4-horse chariot as opposed to the 2-horse chariots of the Tomb Princes. Interesting indeed. Anyway, here we go. As I was saying, King Alcazar II will be cutting his teeth on some nurglites. Probably an appropriate choice rather than just completely wiping them out for good with Settra. We can try this brand new army on him. It's not a complete army as well, so we're just going to have to deal. Looks like we don't have enough mass to quite push through all the enemy units. The Nurglings get sent flying, but we rapidly lose about 20% of our HP to the Demon Spew. Ouch. Gotta say that's a little bit concerning. Alright, well, obviously we'll need this guy to get some regen and some other stuff, but what can you do? And what we can do with our ranged chariots here, which Settra doesn't have, is start focusing down those Beasts of Nurgle, which have already taken about 50% of their HP and damage from these 4 firing at them. I gotta say, that's not too bad at all. I like it. That bodes well, I think, for these ranged chariots in the future, and that's while these guys are being healed by fecundity as well. In the meantime, the main enemy stack will move towards us. Plague ogres, plague toads, plague everythings. Tons of Forsaken charging our Tomb Guard with swords, mind you. The swords will make it easier for them to handle the enemy Forsaken, but the lack of halberds means that all of the large units here are going to be something of an issue. The enemy has also brought, what, 2 or 3 units of Furies to the fray, but we did keep 2 units of Tomb Guard on top of our artillery pieces to protect them, to make sure that the Furies can't take them down. As necessary, obviously. Alright, unfortunately for us, the Furies are pretty darn fragile, shouldn't be of an issue, but the enemy does have a cultist, which means the summoning of a Great Unclean One, which apparently is going after one of our Tomb Barks. Not so great. We aren't, however, going to commit a lot of resources to the Summon Great Unclean One, because after 200 seconds it will run out the clock and disappear anyway, so why commit when we have so many other things to deal with here? Plague Toads, a lot better in SFO than in Vanilla, still warrant being careful about, as they can still dish out decent amounts of damage. While over on the left flank, we are still fighting what remains of the other portion of the enemy army, maybe around half of it, especially counting those units that have been destroyed. The Curse of the Slug has also been really annoying. We've seen it counter some of Settra's army before, bringing down... I remember when we saw Settra get slowed down to like 20 speed or something. Alcazar is experiencing the same sort of situation, as he's trying to get out of the press of units with his quote-unquote heavy chariots. Well, they're just going to have to deal. Otherwise, our regular chariots will get a few more charges in through any isolated Nurglings, obviously not engage those Beasts of Nurgle directly in melee, and simply continue to pincushion them as they do. We are starting to take quite a bit of damage on our Tomb Guard, however, who are down to from 40% to, I don't know, 30% HP in some cases, which is a little bit dangerous. But at the very least, our chariots are still functioning pretty well and can always go into melee as needed. They're going to be a lot more fragile in melee than the melee chariots, but they've been doing a lot of good range work. I'd say a surprisingly good amount of range work. If we have an army to spare, I might make another ranged army with maybe skeleton chariots, ranged chariots rather, and skeleton horse archers. Just to see the degree of damage that we could dish out with these guys while remaining completely mobile. Technically speaking, Tomb Barks and War Sphinxes work in that particular situation as well. A, because they're part of the Charioteer's tree, but they do have ranged attacks, which means they don't necessarily need to move into melee. But we shall see. Considering it sort of just takes elements from armies that already exist, I'm not going to prioritize that over other armies that are intending on using units from our allies instead. For a few more interesting things. Anyway, the balance of power has shifted to about 90% in our favor. The enemy Great Unclean One runs out of time, though it did do damage while being pinned in place by one of our units of Tomb Guard. The enemy Herald of Nurgle is in the fight as well. Yeah, once again, we could really use some more magical damage in a lot of our armies, eh? I guess we could just put Necrosphinxes and Hierotitans in every army, but it feels unfair. Or unnecessary, perhaps, would be the overkill. the correct turn of phrase, but anyway, the balance of power is 95% in our favor now. Just a couple more units remain, and gonna try to be, or gonna continue being as careful as we can with our 2 Tomb Princes on their chariots, plus the Lord. It is nice to keep them together like this, but again, they need a little bit in the way of items to make them a little bit stronger. At last, the Plague-Ridden falls, or the Herald of Nurgle, whatever it was, and with it, the rest of the demons begin their banishment. As the demons fade away, the enemy's lord that was outside the settlement will book it on out of there. As he is shattered, it's just a matter of time running over the last of those nurglings until the battle is ours. I'm going to be curious to see how much damage the ranged chariots have dealt over the course of this particular battle, since Settra's been using the melee chariot since the start, and in theory the ranged chariots are better because they have range fire, but Settra's the best, you know, sort of army to use the melee chariots since they're more buffed with him than anywhere else. Anyway, with that, the battle is done, and we'll just quickly run down the enemy lord, or I should say pincushion the enemy lord with, pretty good, once again, the chariots. He doesn't have a crazy amount of HP, but it's pretty solid. You gotta remember we can use these guys to snipe single entities like this as well. Indeed, my friend. Alright, down he goes, and with this close victory, we bid farewell to Kugath's faction for good. Alrighty, let's see how the ranged chariots did. Actually, not so bad. 19k damage, 18k damage, 16k damage, and 11k damage. Keeping in mind that these 2 chariots have more kills because they were firing at sort of weaker units, whereas these 4 were actually firing first at the Beasts of Nurgle and then the enemy lord and other such things. Our own lord and his 2 Tomb Princes all on, I guess, heavy-ish chariots, all didn't do all that well, unfortunately. However, that's going to probably they're going to need items out of the mortuary cult to make them stronger in order to actually be able to take hits on those chariots. They do still have a tendency to get stuck, and the Tomb Princes don't seem to have enough mass to quite charge through the enemy as we might like them, at least through blobs. Certainly they can charge through 1 unit without a problem. Either way, a nice little debut for our 2nd chariot army, as King Algazar is a chariot king, and we'll make adjustments until we're completely happy with it anyway. We will occupy the place, thereby destroying Kugath and the Poxmakers of Nurgle for good. Hold on to the Charm Shield at least until we get spare Canopic Jars for you, bud. Ally mission successful, good. Enemy killed in battle. Now, there is a Book of Nagash here with an elite army, which I think we gotta send Settra towards. We'll have to figure out what we want to do with you. There may be... I wonder if these guys will be willing to trade Bloodfen for Reek Marsh just so that these guys have a full territory. Might be nice. How do these guys feel about each other now, by the way? Pretty good, and Teclis is at plus 71. Alright, so solid little ally. We got 4,000 gold in vassal tribute now, not too bad. Just gotta try to do the same thing with the Golden Order here, who probably not super happy because Teclis just broke all of his agreements. Then everybody around Teclis probably also not super happy with them, including broken treaties with the Golden Order, minus 108. Wow. Well, if you try to attack us because of it, High King, I think you'll find that Settra's a wee bit higher than you. Anyway, Arakash, you're fine. Was that the last thing that we need to do? In terms of anything that isn't building? Prince Scout, you keep going to Kislev. Well, now that we can see a lot of it, we're mostly fine. I guess we can only see one of the Kislevite factions. We should probably identify the rest of them, to be fair. Which we're working on. Alright, okay, what the heck? The map is moving all weird. It might be because the scout is moving, though. Hope it's not because my PC is looking to crash. What do we have here? I like the pertinacious ones, but we gotta get rid of them. eventually. There was another cavalier here, but I think we'll ignore that. Oh, okay, map's moving normally now. So yeah, I guess it was because that guy's moving. Anyway, let's do building real quick. Build up the restored Hierotitan statue. I think we've reached critical mass in terms of our building, as in we can now afford anything and everything. It's just a matter of growth rather than anything else. So keep building up those pyramidions wherever we can, and then follow them up with the lone columns. And eventually replace the lone columns with treasure tombs if I'm not too lazy to do it later. We'll see. Build a lone column here as well. I don't really like to build them in main territories, but eventually it'll get deleted anyway. Still provide us the additional growth, and that's still quite useful to us right now. Undead Quarryman, and then I guess yes to the lone column. North Barrier Idols, easy refurbished workshop. Crystal Coast, we got a Pyramidion here, or Mortuary Sanctum. Here we only have the refurbished workshop, and this place has to essentially just stay as it is until we've dealt with the Imperials there. Blight River Falls. Pump up those Pyramidion numbers. Lovely, and with those coming up, we no longer need either of you. And I guess this one's here now, so we technically don't need you two either. Here we can build the lone column, I guess. Or actually, no, wait, we won't have room. Undead Quarryman here, and then we got these two other buildings to be built there. You, wouldn't you know it, more Pyramidions. Alright, Pyramidion 1, delete, and then Pyramidion, I'm going to say this one first, and then follow it up with a refurbished workshop and lone column, and go figure, more refurbished workshops and lone columns. Alright, Mountains of Dawn, didn't I already check you? I'm just going to ignore you for now. Refurbished workshop and lone column. Let's upgrade the mausoleum here, and thus can't build the Pyramidion, but we can, I guess we could delete you, because we're going to build you a Pyramidion shortly anyway. What do we have here? Missing Pyramidion? Not anymore. And we can't upgrade you, but we can build an Undead Quarryman. Do we still need the defenses here? I fear that we do, at least for now. Amsu's Charge, one more turn and you'll be ranked up to tier 5. Wyvern Cliffs. Depends on if we keep you, but for now, just grow as best you can. And I'll think about it. I don't want to go too deep into these territories, but on the other hand, there isn't anybody... We need to be able to give territory to people because we need buffer states. There's got to be an end to the territory that we own conquest as opposed to vassalizing. Although on the other hand, again, we can now afford to build whatever, though we do need massive amounts of cash for additional armies, so there is that to think about as well. Anyway, Regnant Catacombs here for now, at least until the growth is completed. And, oh wait, anybody here maxed out in terms of public order? Not you, and in fact you need more public order there. You need the... Actually, if we're trading you, you don't need the at all. Just ignore you for now then. Yeah, alrighty, what about here? Grove of Thorns, a yes to the Crumbling Temple, and just allow it to max itself out in terms of public order. I think we're good now. Although the additional growth wouldn't have been too bad, but whatever. Every little bit of money counts. Bloody Tusks, get us some of those tusks, and Regnant Catacombs for now. At least until deleted, and then here... Wait, didn't we replace the... am I crazy? Oh, we already built those, alright. Here we rebuilt, and then here we did. Okay, good. I'm just looking for those locations where we needed to replace the buildings that are no longer there. Alright, there we go. Alright, we are good in terms of everything else unless I'm mistaken and ready to end another turn. There might be some territories that we might want to do a little bit of a switcheroo with, but for now I think we can just feel free to ignore those, right? Alright, and oh, right, wait, haha, Kalita, I forgot about this. Let's get you your level. Trying to get towards that Desert Strike. Wouldn't make her more speed. I'm gonna say more speed. Although it's, wait, no, I lied, Resurrect. I thought you already had it. Alright, let's level everybody else and let's fight this one. What do we have here? We have Retinue Trainer. I guess we'll move towards Air Command Persevere. So Fearless in Death, please. Still not sure whether we're keeping you in that army for now, though. Master Builder into Bone Giant. Alright, Necrotect. I've been doing Bone Giants with every single one of these, but whatever. You can, I guess, go through Loving Creator. We can at least buff the Sepulchral Stalkers. I like so. And then you We could get a second point in Useks if we wanted, but I think the single point in Power Sap is probably worth more. And you know what? Let's get Onslaught. Get a little bit of that extra damage for when we attack. Now, take a look at this. Yeah, still that Tombbark dime, but we'll fight this cinematically because, you know, it's still a decent pile of units. Go. Alrighty, here we go for Libaras, indeed, and pretty darn effectively, I'd wager, even before the battle begins. I, for one, am nowhere near tired of watching Khalida and her snakes cause absolute havoc through the enemy armies. It's just so entertaining. It's kind of like using Grail Knights, I guess, just super heavy cavalry, essentially, to charge through blobs of infantry, as these snakes seem perfectly capable of that. What's our mass, out of curiosity? 1750, pretty solid. Also 1750 on the Venom Knights, just to make a comparison. 1,000, though, on the Sepulchral Stalkers. Okay, so it makes sense why they can't quite achieve the same kind of thing. I mean, I guess this is the mass of the Tomb Guard plus the mass of the Necro Serpent, but you'd imagine that the Necro Serpent would outweigh the Tomb Guard by a fairly wide margin. Anyway, mortar shells continue to drop amongst our Necropolis Knights, but let's face it, they're not going to be too threatening to them. Although the bullets coming in from the handgunners and whatnot are going to be a different story. Khalida will move on in, venom waving through the flagellants to dish out an additional bit of damage while we get going with our units of the Venom Knights of Asaph. Funnily enough, you get such huge mileage out of the damage dealt by the Venom Knights of Asaph that it generally feels like it's better to use, let's say, I don't know, 80% of your micro energy, maybe not that, but like a lot of the micro that you do just to control this unit, just to get through every unit, charge every single unit that you can, and apply that venomous or toxic venom to everything you can. That said, we've got some supports moving in as the Sepulchral Stalkers have now closed the distance over on the right flank and are going to start shotgunning their way through the enemy. And by the looks of it, doing pretty good damage to that poor Empire Captain. Ouch. Alright, and the Empire Captain chose a mount this time around rather than attacking us on foot, meaning he gets obliterated before he closes. Otherwise, Khalida, I believe, has killed off another enemy Empire Captain, is heading towards the Arch-Elector, while our snakes continue to cause absolute havoc wheresoever they go. Their charge is unstoppable, and they're already up to 530 kills and nearly 100,000 damage. And of course, they're not the only ones. We have our two other units of Necropolis Knights over on the left flank. And we can see just how big of a difference the additional buffs and stats that Khalida gives these guys are, because we have Necropolis Knights in Panat's army as well, if you recall, but Khalida gives them all the extra melee attack as well as that immunity to contact effects. Makes them pretty darn nasty. And obviously less likely to take not too much damage while they're doing this sort of thing. And damn well do they do it well. The bounce power has shifted to about 90, maybe even 95% in our favor. A few more charges through those piles of infantry, and the enemy army will break. In fact, has already done so. Another Empire Captain as a corpse goes flying as he gets gunned down, just like his, his comrade or predecessor or whatever, by the Sepulchral Stalkers. And only the unbreakable flagellants remain on the battlefield. Still fighting Khalida, so she'll give them a nice venom wave. Of course, they are immune to the lethal poison, since just like us, they have immunity to contact effects, but they're not immune to getting stabbed in the face with with Khalida's venom staff there, so all good. You're gonna get a quick charge through them as well with the Venom Knights of Asaph and apply that toxic venom to speed them on their way to the Realm of Souls. And just a couple remains, or maybe one remains, I'm not entirely sure. There he is, he's getting back up. Oh, there's another one over here. Well, there was another one over here. There we go. Alright, oh my lord. It's like, I don't know, it's Asaf's favorite sport, sending these guys flying. And ooh, you whiffed on that one. Hope you don't miss again. And there we go. I don't think he's getting up from that one again, is he? Alright, and with the death of that flagellant, the last of the enemy is done for, and the battle is once again ours. And very, very nice. Alrighty, there we go. Brutal as always, especially for the Venom Knights of SF, who always get an obscene amount of kills and damage, though Kalito, as usual, no slouch while killing off all the enemy's single entities. Many a great mustache and beard was lost this day, as 4 Empire captains and or generals were torn to shreds, but yeah, such is the power of Snake. Alright, we will occupy the place and I guess hit up Lamia next turn. Spear pile. I'm not forgetting you this time. And yeah, we can't do Necropolis. Yeah, it'll take 3 turns, but we'll be there shortly. So, skeleton pile. And just out of curiosity, we need 71k to get a new dynasty up and running, and we do have the requisite number of canopic jars. So maybe we'll do that next turn or so. Leave them in Lamia, and then use them to recruit the remaining units that Khalida needs. Though it'll, I'm sure, take a little bit of time, and it'll be worth it. Finally, we're up here, though I'm a little bit wary of these guys building armies here while we're busy, but we'll see. Anyway, that was the last thing that we need to do this turn. We are out of time, but I guess we can end the turn anyway, just to see if anything interesting happens. Oh wow, I gotta say, I was not expecting them to attack Hakor, but good for them for attempting it. Unfortunately, I think we'll have to save this particular fight for next episode, although I am really tempted by it, I gotta say. Screw it, let's do it right now. Alrighty, here we go. Still gonna be a pretty fun time here. The enemy may have piles of basic troops, but it's always a huge amount of fun fighting hordes like Skaven and like the vampire counts. We got like 7,000 zombies or something here to deal with. Although I do imagine this is kind of the ideal situation for the NEHEKHARA warriors that make up the bulk of this army. They have low armor-piercing weapon damage, but they have plenty of damage overall. And the fast attacks of the Twin Blades and the, I guess, Twin Blade Ushabti as well will probably make quick work of the vast majority of those enemy zombies. I do like the sort of dark blue color scheme that they've got going as well. Alrighty, not much to say about this one tactically, I suppose. Our Necrosphinx will move towards the Master and Necromancer, but otherwise it's just a big old brawl, though we are trying to hunt down those enemy knights here with our Storm Riders of Ksar, which are attempting to prevent them from sort of peeling away, while the Storm Riders and the other units of NEHEKHARA and Horse. That said, this is only the first army, and reinforcements are making their way onto the battlefield. If you've thought that the sort of engagement happened a little bit too quick, it's because we were in all Vanguard deployment. Our entire army deployed like right in the face of the enemy army and basically started combat immediately. I think thanks to the fact that our army was in tune beneath the sands. We certainly put it to good use here. Admittedly, our artillery would have probably obliterated most of this enemy army from a distance, but why let them do that when the NEHEKHARA warriors can cut them down, and the enemy has other armies where that came from for our artillery to get to work on. Immediately, all of our artillery start focusing these guys down, and at this distance, the inaccuracy of the Casket of Souls will work in our favor, as all those projectiles crash into the milling blob of zombies below. And whenever we have access to it, we'll give the Screaming Skull, or not the Screaming Skulls, the Casket of Souls a bleed via the Jeff's incantation of Cursed Blades to increase their damage. Otherwise, the first enemy army is very much on its way out. The Hawk Legion of Settra cutting through all of those zombies and skeleton warriors alike with no problems whatsoever. Let's see, we got, for the ones on the left flank, we got 230 kills, barely any damage, keeping in mind that they've had, you know, the occasional heal here and there via our passive healing. But still pretty good. And it looks like the enemy Necromancer has in fact ran away and been replaced by an enemy Vampire Lord, in fact by 2 Vampire Lords. Interesting that rather than support his army on his, I'm just laughing at this guy's fallen, his corpse cart, he's just gone. That's alright though, we'll just take care of the other vampires and we'll head the Necrosphinx towards him instead. Alright. Couple of fast movers have moved on in from the reinforcing armies, Black Knights and Dire Wolves alike, but they're just going to get run down by the Storm Riders of Xar, which are so insanely quick they can catch the insanely quick Dire Wolves without any problem either. And here comes the Necrosphinx once again to make quick work of the remaining HP of the Strigoi Lord, who attempted to move on, and there we go. And then there was one. The enemy army is in pretty bad shape after our artillery fire, and we're just gonna close the distance and cut down what troops remain of the enemy here. And just a good old-fashioned undead on undead action. Still can hear a little bit of that, like, roaring or whatever noises the undead make, even if the battle is largely silentish, as it should be. Well, the Tomb Kings are well, and the vampires, I guess, could perfectly happily maybe let loose some invective against each other, but anyway. The Soul Harvester Necrosphinx is finally going to head towards that Master Necro who ran away the first time. And Necrosphinx versus Corpse Cart is going to be a pretty darn bad matchup there, so I don't expect the enemy Necro to survive for all that long. Otherwise, the balance of power is at about 90, maybe even 95% in our favor. In fact, the enemy army has begun to melt away as soon as the Necrosphinx closed the distance with that Corpse Cart, which is still attempting in vain to escape. It's just not gonna happen. Keep on attempting to heal or buff yourself. Actually, using Van Hel's Danse Macabre is pretty useless on the Necro on Corpse Cart. Although he does have a little bit of help from a unit of Graveguard with halberds here. It ain't stopping those arm blades. Down goes the last of the enemy lords. A few more projectiles rain down on the enemy, but a few more Kopesh hits from the rest of our piles of NEHEKHARA warriors will clear the remaining vampire counts and give the battle to us. Also, well, I guess next turn, but this will be the end of the faction as well. Which is fine, as we don't really want to get bogged down fighting in these marshes for too long because, well, it's just annoying to move here. A, because of attrition, and B, because our movement range is significantly reduced. Alright, just a couple more units remaining. And yeah, this poor little faction just didn't have the sort of elites necessary to deal with us at all. And there we are. With that, the battle's ours. Fun, definitely worth the fight. There we go, very, very nice. There's nothing quite like cutting down hordes of zombies, and, well, we certainly did so with gusto here, with everybody racking up at minimum 30,000 damage in the infantry lines, 41 or 2,000 for the Dune Dervishes, 35 and 35 for the Wardens of Jet and Constructed Criticism, around 30 for both the Screaming Skulls. Our casket, 732 kills, 126,000 damage, nearly at the level of the Venom Knights of Asaph in this particular entire situation, and it looks like the Lizard Liquidators carry the day for the Hawk Legion of Settra, showing that, well, they can liquidate pretty much anything they damn well please. We will bind souls, I guess, because we're suffering... Actually, we're not suffering attrition here, but it's not a lot of money, so yeah, just bind souls. Alrighty, there we go. A High King of the NEHEKHARA faction has a treasury of 100,000 gold, so Settra's at the third of his 4 levels of his leveling trait. Very nice. And Ala begins outpost construction, faction destroyed. Herald of the Scorpion up and running for the Scorpion King here. Huh. Well, that's annoying. They bypass Doom Mountain and are apparently trying to go for Marble Massif instead. Well, the irritating aspect of this is the fact that they have no territory remaining, so I thought that they were supposed to just attempt to attack you, but apparently not. Well, you're going to have to move this way and try to hunt them down then until you can transfer those Tra units to the army of Tra. For now, though, with that, we are out of time, and I'm going to call the episode here. Next time, we move to attempt to hunt down another book with the Lamazash army, and well, I was hoping to confederate Katep. This episode, it'll have to wait until the next one. Hey, he has a very nice army with all of those sepulchral stalkers in his army. Can't fault him for doing that. They're just that good, so I guess Settra will be bringing him down and assuming the Confederation functions appropriately, getting him on the team next time. Stay tuned for an update to leave those likes and comments below as they will determine the length of the campaign. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.